Hi everyone, welcome to the next segment in the HTML lessons. So today we're going to build on what you've already learned about tags and about creating a simple web page. And you're going to learn two more tags, one that will allow you to insert images and one that will allow you to insert links. But I feel like it's really important to review the skeleton. Some of you did great with this. Some of you had some missing items in your skeleton. And the crazy thing is PracticeBoard kind of doesn't catch all the mistakes, and sometimes your text will and information will show up as if you've done it correctly, but really the skeleton is not correct. You want to make sure you create a sandwich with the top bun being the opening HTML tag, the bottom one with the closing. In between the two HTML tags, you have a miniature sandwich, the opening head tag and the closing one. And in between those two, you have the opening title and the closing title. And then where the magic happens is in between the two body tags, the opening and closing body tags. This is where the content of the web pages that you see on the internet go. Okay, so make sure you type that out really quickly. You could even create a little notepad document and get real familiar with and okay with copying and pasting. That's allowed. You can research this stuff and copy and paste it if you tend to make errors in your typing. So let's talk about the first new tag. You're going to learn how to add images. In HTML, images are defined with the img tag. It's a tag that does not need a closing tag because the end of the image is obvious. So it's a tag, though, that you need to include several attributes inside of. So you need to specify where you're getting the image and what size the image is, and all sorts of other things, okay? You don't have to have all of those, but you at least need to point the browser in the correct direction to pull your image into the web page. The way we're going to do it today, and the only way we're going to be able to do it, given that we have a tool called PracticeBoard, is we're going to find an image online and find the URL of the image and point the browser to the URL of that image, and it's going to appear as if the picture appears on our page, as if we've just plopped it there. Typically we find our own images and save them to our computer, and then using attribute language, we can point the browser to the file that's located in a particular folder on our computer, but we're pointing to a web address instead. So I'm going to walk us through this process. We are going to, first let's take a look at what this looks like. You're going to have the opening caret img space src, that stands for image source. What is the source of the image? You have to have an equal sign, and then in quotation marks you put the actual web address. Then you have a space, and you have the ALT tag, attribute tag. That stands for alternative text. If a blind person is accessing your website, they're not going to be able to see the pictures, but they have a reader that will read to them whatever the alternative text is. So they'll know, oh, this is where a picture of a tree frog is. And then you have, if you want to specify the width and the height of your picture, if your picture from the internet is too big and you want to shrink it, you would identify in quotation marks width equals 128 or whatever number you want in pixels, and height equals 128 in my case. So let's take a look at what that looks like on PracticeBoard. I'm going to go on back. You can see I have my skeleton here, and I typed "this is my image," and I just inserted the image source, And sure enough, I click CHTML and my tree frog image appears. How did I get that image? Let me do a little review on how to grab a URL of an image. You're going to go to the image that you want. So you do a search on Google, you find, oh, let's use this one. You go to that image. Now you don't want to stop here. You want to go to this button right here that says View Image. That's the actual image on the internet. And then you want to copy the URL. And I'm going to go back to Practice Board. I'll just paste that image in here. So I'm going to highlight all of the URL, replace it with my new image, and I'm going to click CHTML. And sure enough, it switches to the new image. So get in the habit of, if you tend to have a lot of errors in your typing, find the correct tag and copy it and just replace it with the information you need. That's not cheating in this case. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint and take a look at the next thing we're going to add. We're going to learn how to create hyperlinks. Adding links in HTML is really easy. HTML links are defined with the A tag. The link address is specified in the href attribute. And this tag does need a closing tag. It absolutely does, because we need to tell the browser when to stop hyperlinking something. So the way it's constructed is you type A stands for attribute, href, and that stands for basically a hyperlink reference. The URL that I want it to go to, and then the text that I want to turn into the link. So when I click on this text, it will take me to, in this case, W3 Schools, and then the tiny little closing tag, \A. So let's take a look at it in Practice Board. I've gone ahead and I copied this tag here, A space href equals, and then in quotation marks, the link, and then I've got text that I want to turn into the hyperlink located right here, and then a /A as a closing tag. And I click CHTML, and I scroll down, and there's my link. So when in doubt, copy and paste. Let's try, you can just come in right here. Let's say I like Hondas or Subarus. How's that? And I replace it with that link, and here I want this to say Subaru, cars, rock, and then I click CHTML, and it's turned it into my hyperlink right here. So real simple to do, but again, the really cool thing about HTML is you don't really have to memorize these tags necessarily. Just knowing that they exist now gives you the information you need to go get the details of how to construct that tag. And I refer a lot to W3 Schools. So again, be careful of your skeleton. Adding images. You can type the IMG source, add a reference to the actual picture on the internet. Oh, I think I was going to show you that. Yeah, I already showed you. And alternative text in quotation marks, and width and height in pixels in quotation marks. Adding links, use the A tag. We're adding the href attribute equals, and then you add the link to the web address and text to go to. text to turn into the hyperlink. So I hope this has been helpful, and you will be instructed in your lesson on what to do next for this assignment.